Hey friends, how are you? You just got done seeing me do some pizzelle cookies, and I am now getting ready to do the tomatoes. I started processing those already. I am charging my microphone, so please forgive me on this. My microphones, I have two of them and they're both dead. So I'm bringing you along as we are making our tomato soup. I got this recipe from my friend Lisa over at Yogi Hollow Farm. She was so kind to share this with me. And what I'm doing right now is I am putting these tomatoes through my not mesh, but my strainer. So I'm draining out all the seeds and the pulp. And it doesn't take that long to do this, but I'm not gonna lie, friends, I'm kind of done preserving tomatoes products. So in the bottom of this pan, I have equivalent maybe an onion, 1.5 onions chopped. I pulled those out of the freezer. This is some frozen celery that I have, and I got this from Azure Standard. It really needs to get used up, and that's what the recipe calls for. So I didn't have to go get one thing at the store for this recipe. I have everything here. And I need more soup on my pantry shelf. So that is what I am doing, friends. I am just going to continue to strain out all the seeds, as you can see here, just all the pulp and everything from the tomatoes. The recipe calls for 20 pounds of tomatoes, which I'm sure I have that here. I didn't weigh them out, but I'm almost 100% sure here that I have it. And I am going to, like I said, I have the onions down in there. I am gonna put the celery in and some other seasonings. It calls for sugar, and I do have some sugar, but it also calls for honey. So I think I'm gonna do a mixture because my sugar is extremely low and I need to go buy a lot more sugar and flour. There's some things I really need to go restock on because I've been doing so much baking and cooking. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I think I may save this pulp and give it to my chickens tomorrow. I have a couple of things I'm gonna give to them. As I'd gone out into my freezer looking for a few things, I had noticed there were some broccoli in there, some snow peas in there from like 2022 and 2023, and I thought, you know what, this will be perfect to give to my chickens, and then I'll just take that out because I have enough pulp and powder in my pantry to last me for the next year. So that's what I'm gonna do, friends, and I'll bring you back and show you my the next process. All right, friends, I got a little bit of battery left on here right now. So I'm on my last part of putting it through the strainer, and I put my celery in. It's about 6 stalks of celery to about 2 onions. And to this, I am going to add I think I'm going to add some onion top, salt, and oregano. So I took my salt out, and is this it? Yep. Salt, oregano, and some onion top here. Now this is going to have to be pressure canned, okay? And you're going to have to look up your altitude on that. For me, I believe it's 11 pounds for me. And it's going to take maybe, I want to say 40 minutes. So, and I think I'm going to can this in pints. So then that way it's just, it's just, my son's not going to eat it. So my husband and I will probably just split a can. And when you prepare it, you're going to end up, think of it as like Campbell soup, where you add milk to it for the consistency you want. And I'm going to use some honey. It takes 3/4 cups of sugar or honey. So I think I'm going to do half and half because that's all my sugar, because I've been baking and doing so much stuff. So I have to go get some more sugar or find recipes that just call for honey. So I think I'm going to call this done. I don't think there's any more that needs to go in here. All right, friends, whoa, sorry about that. that is all cleaned up. The pulp is all put away in a bowl. And this is what is left in the soup. I'm going to turn this on and we're going to bring it up to a boil, but then we're going to simmer it until you get that desired consistency of thickness that you want for your soup. So you have to do what works and what consistency you like best. So I just added some salt. I'm just going to put in a little bit of the onion tops in here and some oregano. Now, the recipe does specifically tell you how much. I'm just measuring with my heart, guys. I mean, it's a lot of tomato sauce in here, so that's what we're going to do there. Move those out of the way, wipe my hands really quick. And then it's time for the sugar. And it was 3/4 of a cup of honey or sugar. And I really think what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my sprayer out again, first of all, because whenever you use honey, you might want to just like spray your tablespoon or your measuring cup. That way it slides out a lot easier. So 3/4 of a cup of honey. This is actually really good honey. I bought this a few weeks ago. I was impressed with the flavor, but I don't want to use all of it. There we go. Got about a fourth left. I'm fine. There's the honey. We're going to pour this in. See how nice and easy that just came out? I'm going to hold this here upside down for a minute. And I am going to grab my wooden spatula spoon. And I'm really just going to stir all this in. And like I said, it reminds me of making pasta sauce. Bring this up to a boil. When it comes to a boil, I'm going to go ahead and simmer it down. Turn it on simmer, cover it up, and let it simmer for a while. And let it simmer down. It needs to reduce. So yeah, there it is. So once that is brought to a boil and it boils and thickens and it gets to the consistency that I want, we're going to jar this up and put it in the canner, and I'll bring you along for that. So we are back, and today I'm asking myself whose brilliant idea was it to make cookies, to can. It's my idea, but it is like 2 o'clock. No, it's not. It's going on 3 o'clock. I've canned today. I've done cookies. I've made soup. I'm tired and I want to get this done. So let me show you what I'm going to do. So I have the soup. It's down to its consistency that I want. But do you still see there's like the chunks of the onion in there? I'm just going to come in here with my immersion blender and just get all that crushed up as fine as possible. Because I've already put it through the food mill. So I've actually got my electric canner out over here. You can see that over here. It's a Nesco. I got this one out so that way, so that way I don't have to babysit the canner. And I'm going to put this on 12 pounds for 25 minutes. And like I said, I'm going to do pints and probably a couple of quarts because of lids. So let me keep blending this up and I'll see you in a second, friends. So we're gonna put those on here and here. And be very careful because the tomatoes, your soup is extremely hot. So be very careful when you're putting the lids on. Make sure that you have a pot holder or something that you can grab it. And you're only going to put this on finger tight. You don't want to tighten it, but just finger tight. All right, friends, I have everything in the jars. I have 5. I'll end with 10 pints and 2 quarts, which I think is really good. So that's not bad. So I am done in the kitchen. I do need to reset it, and I'm gonna let this go, get my dishes washed up. Let me show you what it looks like before I leave though. There you go. Whoops. There you go, friends. Isn't that just beautiful? Well, I think it is. So yeah. So anyhow, there is how you can homemade tomato soup. I will leave the recipe down below in the description box for you in case you want to can this up and maybe you have some tomatoes in your freezer left over from the garden. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe, like, and if you care to, even share out. That even helps my channel a lot. Thanks again for being here, friends, and I will see you on the next video. Be blessed all.